Welcome to the Woori Farm School. Unfortunately, because you can't come here, I've decided I'm going to come to you. I know that's a bit spooky. Alright, we're back again. In yesterday's video I showed you how to pot up small plants. Now, at the farm school, that's what we focus on. We have a market for plants of this size. We know where they're going, we know we can sell them. They're what we call enterprise plants. In other words, you make money out of them. You can make money out of almost any sort of plant, and if you do, that's what's called an enterprise plant. Remember that, because that's one of the questions on your worksheet that you're going to be doing as well. And I'm going to try and cover as much information as I can for you to be able to fill in that worksheet on your own between this video and yesterday's video. So you might have to watch that one again when you've finished watching this one and you're ready to fill in that thing. There's a fair bit of OH&S in all of these units, and the worksheet that you're going to do on potting up plants, we'll be asking you about that as well. Remember I said, what do we do after using potting mix? We wash our hands, because yesterday I found some cat poo in the potting mix. So the cats are using our potting mix as a kitty litter. The other thing I found yesterday after I hung up on you were wasps in the nursery. That's not why I'm not working in the nursery now. It can be just a bit hot working in the nursery all the time. That's another OH&S issue. So as well as finding the right height, make sure you find a place where the temperature's right for you as well. And if it is hot, make sure you drink plenty of water. But things like wasps and spiders and ants, that's another possible OH&S issue. Trip hazards. Don't leave the hose around, don't leave pots lying around. And because there's a few of those things in there, I've decided to work out here where you can't see all that stuff. Anyway, today we're going to pot up plants. Now, one of the reasons why we focus on the small plants here at the farm school is that we have a market for them. We don't have a market for anything bigger at this stage, and really the nursery is only part of what we do here, so we're happy to just go with that. But you've got to be aware of other things when you're going for bigger plants. First of all, you need more potting mix. That's costly. They need more water. That's costly. Then you've got to actually find somebody prepared to buy the trees at the higher price, and that's difficult. Now, on the first one, and to make those mistakes, I've got a heap of these at home. I grew them from tiny little plants, repotted them. Every time there's work involved, every time there's more pots involved, every time there's more potting mix involved, I want $50 a plant. You think I can find anyone to buy them? No way. So I've got a heap of them in my garden. Not exactly ideal. So that's why we focus on this stuff. And when you get back to school, as well as the stuff that I'll send you to do while we're away, you'll be doing a lot of these. However, if you were going to be potting up bigger plants, here's a good example. Remember yesterday I said I like to go with these square pots because it makes the roots grow nice and straight down. That way when they're ready to plant, the roots aren't root bound, and that's something you've got to watch too. Often if you leave a plant for too long, it'll get too many roots and it'll sort of strangle itself. It won't grow very well. That's when you've got to start thinking about putting it in a bigger pot. I'll just flick it out of here, pretty easy. There you can see the roots are going straight down, lovely. Can you see that nice and close up? Now in a round pot they tend to go round, that's why I like the square pots, but square large pots are hard to get. Now if I was going to put that into the ground straight away, I wouldn't just dig a shallow hole and bury it in about that far, because what will happen, this will dry out. I wouldn't make a hole too big and bury it up to here, because this will get all wet and rot. So same principle applies to repotting. If it was root bound, I'd probably want to break up some of those roots so that they can start growing and filling the rest of the pot. But in this case they're not root bound, they can just go straight into the pot, but obviously not straight down the bottom and fill it up to there. That'll be rotted. I don't want it up here. That would be drying it out. So I've got to put a bit of potting mix into the pot for a start. And you see how much potting mix you can end up using on these things, then you've got to make your money back if you're growing enterprising plants or enterprise plants. That's still a bit too shallow. So I'll just have another go. If I put too much in, I'll just take some out. That's pretty good. Alright, and then I just backfill. Same process as I did with the smaller pots, only on a much bigger scale. Now, hopefully, I'll press it nicely firm in. Hopefully you remember what we did yesterday. You've got to water it in. Once I've watered it in, it might compress a bit further and I might have to put a little bit more potting mix on. Now, that compared to that, you can see a lot more effort, a lot more potting mix, going to take a lot more water. $1 I can get for that. I might have got $5 for that. Then I'd be looking for maybe $10 for this. But will I be able to sell it? Not sure. The other thing, the last thing on an OHS issue I'll just point out is that's now going to be quite heavy. Well, that's not too bad. But that one, try picking that up on your own. So what should you do if you have to move those? Find a friend. Get somebody to help you move them, or use a trolley. Alright, I think I've covered everything. You'll probably be able to, hopefully, do your worksheets now. Look at both videos, and then we'll talk about it, and we'll see you online. See you online.